Слава Україні!
Hey comrades, and welcome to Men of War Assault Squad 2, showing off the Nobody But Us mod. This is a very cool Ukrainian Russian war mod that came out around the same time as Donbass Crisis did last summer. And it's really an awesome mod. It works alongside the Cold War mod, so there's a lot more vehicles and stuff than the Blue Dawn Donbass Crisis. They recently updated it, and they improved the player models, they added a bunch of stuff, and they fixed things, and there's even a single player mission now that I'm gonna show you, well, later on in another video. But yeah, I really wanted to show you guys this mod for a while, but I just kept forgetting to, and but yeah, I got updated, so here we go. The Ukrainian IL-76. It's a military transport plane. One second, let me just turn down the music a little more. There we go. So here we have the Mi-17s. We have the armed, two different skins. We have the unarmed. I think this is the modern ATO skin. I think this is the older Ukrainian Air Force skin. It might still be in use, I'm pretty sure. I've seen this one in use. I've seen this in the ATO. As well as this one. These are the armed, oh that's cool, the Cossack skeleton right there. You can tell from the haircut style, the flowing kind of lock of hair, I guess. There's a whole bunch of Ukrainian Su-25s. This is the Striker, I think. No, this one's the Strike. I think this one's the Bomber. I can't remember exactly. There's like a whole bunch of different types, and it's pretty cool. I love the modern texture camo of the Ukrainian Air Force, as well as the Navy one, where it's like a bluish kind of color instead of gray. They don't have it in the mod, but still, it's pretty awesome. Now we're gonna get onto the vehicles. So this one has similar vehicles to the Donbass Crisis mod, or the Blue Dawn Donbass Crisis, but it adds more. So it has the Ukrainian Btr 80s with the proper net camo kind of side thing. Net armor, there we are. But it also has the modern pixelated camo of the Ukrainian army. So today in the ATO you'll no longer see a whole lot of the vehicles with the stripes. They now have this pixelated camouflage. And it's like the modernized standard for the Ukrainian military. They have it on their tanks and all that. You know what? 1 second. Let's go here. That. But it's pretty cool. This is something that Donbass Crisis doesn't have. The different variants of the Btr 4E. This one is with the different armor plating. We have the, let's see, we have one with the PTU, the missile launcher on the side. One without. We have the green camo. This one's without. I'm not sure what that is. Banderstad? But it's pretty cool camouflage. The Kospa. The little Adidas kind of marking right there. It's pretty cool. Here we have the Ukrainian Btr Three. These are modernizations. These are Ukrainian modernizations, obviously, to the BTR. I think this is using the old Btr 80 body. Obviously, the turret's different. So this one's with the missile launcher on the side. This one's without. It's pretty cool, the modern camo. The little kind of technical texture kind of thing. I like it. Here we have the BMDs. The BMD1 and BMD2. This is the VDV. I think for both Russia and Ukraine, their militaries only the Air Force divisions use, or like the airborne divisions use these two. I think for the standard army, it's no longer commissioned. Or commission? We'll say commissioned, I guess. No longer commissioned by the army. Here we have the BMDs. are BMPs. There's multiple variants, but these are the two different new camos. This one's a bluish tint. This one's the new modern kind of grayish kind of green thing. If you've seen the Ukrainian Independence Day parade, you'll see that the green that they use actually is a lot deeper, a lot darker of a green, not as light or grayish as this one, but still very cool. I figured I'd show that. Just some other ATO skins for tanks that we don't really see often. Here are the Btr 82A. This is the Ukrainian modern camo. I don't think they have a lot of Btr 82As. At least I haven't seen a whole lot of them. But it is cool that they have it on that one. We have the BRDMs, the ATGM launcher. Some Ukrainian writing there. Standard BRDM. We have the Btr 70, which you don't actually see any. I don't think you've seen any of these in much combat in the ATO, but this one has the Marine flag and does have an ATO stripe, so maybe in the early days it did. So we're moving on to the artillery. This here's the Nona mobile mortar system. I think Ukraine does use a good number of these. I don't know if they're still using them in the ATO or not. I know that they're banned from using 120mm caliber mortar pieces and artillery. Russia continues to use them, but Ukraine has stopped. Here we have the, I think the Akitsa. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but it's pretty cool. Here we have the big Ukrainian artillery piece. This is the damn, I can't remember, but you guys recognize it. I'm sure you can tell me. Here we have the classic Uralgrad. This is the MSTA, I think. At least that's what it's marked as, or maybe the 29C MST or something. I really can't remember. There's another Ukrainian artillery piece. And here is the Tuchka missile launcher. And I think Russia has something similar to it called, actually no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah. This is the Tuchka U missile launcher. Alright, we'll see here. Put it into firing mode as a missile. Pretty cool. The Ukrainian artillery piece. The something stand. It's a Ukrainian made launcher. Here's some Gaz trucks, and I don't know if Ukraine actually has any of these, but for some reason it has the Ukrainian symbol, so maybe at one point in time they did. Who knows? Here we have I think the Border Guard Service paint job on the UAZ. And the Gaz 66 truck with marine markings. There's several more different markings, but I didn't really bother to spawn a whole bunch to show them all. And this one is actually really cool. This here is the Kamaz truck, but it's armored up. This is used by Azov. And I remember seeing this video bit. It's called, what was it? Oh, Azov Mad Max Tank Factory. And they have this whole array of just crazy homemade armored vehicles that they're using in the ATL. And this is one of them, and I'm really glad that they managed to put one in. It looks ridiculous, but hey, if it works, you know? These are some Kraz trucks, or not Kraz, what are these guys called? Let's see, vehicles, modern, car, Kraz Cougars, that's what they are. And has some pretty cool skins. So they have ATO, which is the classic green with the white striping. There's the Azov, which the Azov Battalion actually has a Btr Three, and it has the same style right here. We got green, and then we have the OSCE. which actually I'll show you. So we have the AGS, the HCBM, I think, and then the PKM. So super heavy machine gun, lighter machine gun. And here's the OSCE. They're used to their monitoring group. That's there to monitor the actions in the East Donbass, and obviously the moment they leave is when Russia usually strengthens up its attacks. But it's a monitoring mission. They use some of these vehicles. Obviously it's not armed. It's just for reconnaissance and kind of observation. We got some more vehicles. We have the Ukrainian Humvees. Pretty cool. Which they're actually different from these Humvees. I mean, obviously you can see from the difference, but I forget exactly. They've had these ones for a while now, but I can't remember exactly what the difference is. I mean, there's visual difference, obviously, but there's a few other differences. We got the Humvees that the US sent. This one's like a VDV one. But here's the Ukrainian vehicle that we don't really see often, and it's the Dozer. And it has a few different skins, but this one I like the most. And here we have the Ukrainian Kraz trucks. So the infantry, the ammo, and the engineer. With the three different, there's actually more skins, but these are the three nicest of the skins. The National Guard one here, the ATO ones here. More Humvees, the cargo, and the infantry. Ukrainian ZIL truck. Infantry, obviously. And now we're going on to the police cars, actually. So I don't know if Ukraine actually does, but they made a Hummer with Ukrainian plates. It's police style. So I don't know if Ukraine's police force actually has Hummers or not, but that'd be pretty interesting if they did. The old Crown Vics. This is the old Ukrainian Militia. I don't know if they used Crown Vics. I think they used a different style of car, but the mod adds these, which is pretty cool. The Ukrainian SBU, which is the State Security Service, with another border guard skin for the UAZ. And here's some tanks that, two tanks that you have seen, the T-64BD and T-64B. This one has the modern Technic, I can't remember the name of the camo, but it is the modern camo, which is pretty cool. This one has the ATO stripes. A little heart there, pretty cool. And this is the Ukrainian T-84 Oplot, which there are a few serving in the east. Not many though, but it's a modernized Ukrainian tank that I think started production in the late 80s, and I think there were a few made, but when the Soviet Union collapsed, Ukraine's economy and military industry, just like Russia, it collapsed, so there weren't a whole bunch of these made for a while, but Ukraine's ramped up production. They've sold a whole bunch, I think recently to India, as well as some to Indonesia. And like the South Pacific nations, not South Pacific nations, no, a few Asian nations I think have bought them. It's a really good tank. So now we're moving on to the infantry. And one of the things that I held off on showing this mod for was because the original infantry skins were really crappy looking. I mean, they weren't horrible, but they were just poorly done. I mean, the uniforms and stuff look nice, but like the faces, the hands, they just weren't good looking. So starting off, we have with Novorossiysk, we have the Unit 15. Pretty cool. Oh, also the idle animations. See, these guys are they're standing like they're shouldered, but they're carrying their weapons, which is quite interesting. As well as, actually I'll show you. So, this guy here, the way that they look around corners is different. So they're like, you know, let's see. It's pretty cool. So let's see, it's the Unit 15. Let's see, next we have the Unit Kalmius. As you've seen in the Donbass Crisis mod from like several months, almost a year ago I think, from when I first showed it. Pretty cool. Well, the models are much better looking now. They have like proper looking faces. It's not like this flat, kind of weird blocky looking, kind of pixelated texture. Here we have Battalion Somali. The terrorist commander Gvi was part of this battalion before he was killed by the, I think it was the Donetsk underground. Next we have Battalion Sparta. Another nice thing about this mod is that it actually divides up the units into their proper organizations, like Sparta, Somali, Kalmius, 15, and Vostok were part of DNR. So they're part of a separate tab, so you can know which ones are which and which areas they serve in. Obviously they serve in both LNR and DNR areas, but they originated from DNR. It's pretty cool. Really cool looking unit. Some interesting idle animations, I'll admit. Makes it more fun to have them standing around. You don't have to script them, you know? Here we've seen this before, Vostok Battalion. The leader of this battalion was actually a former SBU officer, who I guess got paid off by Russia, so it's interesting to see them there. Here we have for LNR, we have the Kozaki Don, which are the Don Cossacks, so these guys are from Russia. They even have a, like he's tying his shoe kind of animation. The thing that I like with this unit is the arm patch. You have the Don Cossacks flag and the deer or the doe of some kind. I can't remember. Next we have Prizrak Battalion. So these guys have the actual LNR flag on their shoulders. It's pretty cool. And here's one that the Donbass Crisis doesn't have, and this is Battalion Zarya. Very cool. Not a whole selection of units, but still very nice. Here we have the Oplot, which I think is the original Russian attempt at creating a like a militia. Like these guys were the ones that first rose up. They're like mostly Ukrainians that were paid off by Russia. So the Berkut here. Pretty cool. It's nice to see that they were added in. Some tankmen here. But again, I don't think there's a whole lot of the Oplot, because obviously a lot of the Ukrainians realized, you know, that it was just silly. You know, they didn't want to become part of the Russian world, and so they dropped. But a few police officers as well. The old militia. Pretty cool. Here we have the Russian Btr. There are obviously Russian regiments that are serving in the Donbass, and Russia's using it as a training ground for its troops, so most of these guys will fight in Donbass, and if they survive, they'll get deployed to like hot zones like Syria, because they've gotten combat experience fighting in Ukraine. So I don't know exactly what Russian regiment this is, but this is just a BDV group. Very cool. And now we're moving on to something that they just added actually, and these are winter skins. So this is the VSN Winter. This is one of the missions that we'll see these guys in. And some winter camo units. Obviously there's a whole lot of white camouflaged uniforms because nobody really knew how long the war would go for. If Russia hadn't interfered, it would have ended in 2014, but obviously they did, and so the war's extended a bit longer than expected. Now we're moving on to Ukraine. And Ukraine actually has a 2014 tab, and so for the 2014 tab we have Azov, VDV, and VSY. So for Azov, these are the original civilians that rose up. They wore these orange armbands, as you'll see here, to mark that they were part of Ukrainian side. And you know, these were like police officers and civilians who rose up in Mariupol who didn't want to become part of the Russian occupation. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This guy here is a Ukrainian hero of some kind. I forgot the name already, but when you download the mod, you'll see him. Here we have the VDV. So this is the Ukrainian airborne troops that initially took part in the first early days. Really cool looking. Awesome variety. And the it's Scotch, yeah, that yellow Scotch tape kind of stuff. Here we have, I think, the VSY. I want to say that was the... I guess it's just volunteers. I can't remember exactly what the VSY are. But pretty cool. Different tankman. Another Ukrainian hero. He actually has a tattoo on his arm, which is really badass. Oh, but I can't remember his name. Really cool. He tries up on his helmet there. Let's see, moving on. There's a whole bunch to cover. Let's see, these guys are the Ukrainian artillery crews. These are artillery crew members. Here we have the modern, I think, Azov. This is the modern day Azov unit. Ukrainian Btr. Yeah, the special forces, obviously. Iconic blue camo pattern. I really like it, I'll be honest. Like, I know it's very bright colored and it's probably not combat effective in a real combat zone, but still, looks badass. Next we have Battalion Donbass, one of my favorite units. I think they joined with the official army and now they have a standard designation like the 17th something regiment or whatever. I could be wrong though, but as you see they have the yellow armbands. Awesome symbol right there, the diving falcon or eagle. Really cool looking unit. I love the face masks and how the guy's just looking at his gun. You're standing around, so you might as well do something. Here we have the DPSU, which is the Ukrainian Border Guard Service. I think the Blue Dawn Donbass Crisis has this. I can't remember exactly if they do. Really cool unit. I just love that the models were fixed up. It just looks so much better now. But I like the Border Guard Service's camouflaged uniforms as well. Looks very nice. Here we have the Ukrainian Marines. Still using the Soviet TTSKO camouflage, which also is another kind of camouflage style that I like. Kind of wish they'd still keep it, but I guess it's not combat effective. Pretty badass looking unit. Let's see, next we have the police. So this here is the emergency services of Ukraine. We got the police officers, a tactical unit, more tactical. Let's see, now we are moving on to the Pravi sector, which is the right sector of Ukraine. These are like ultra-nationalists, and they've been accused, just like Azov, of being Nazis. They aren't. You know, fighting to defend your country doesn't make you a Nazi. Unless you're in 1930s Germany. Or 40s. Let's see, here we have the SBU. Pretty cool, I love this helmet here. It's very awesome. And now I have SBU Alpha all the way down here. Very nice. Some modern equipment. I've seen this weapon right here that this guy's holding. I can't remember what it's called. But it's really cool. And I've seen it mainly, I can't remember if it was the National Guard? It's either the National Guard or the Border Guard that I've seen it used by them Not in combat, obviously, but I have seen it like in parades and stuff. It's like the standard weapon that they're carrying, which is pretty cool. Here we have the different type of tankmen. Pretty cool. Now the Ukrainian Air Force. Got pilots for the helicopters, for the aircraft. I love how they have the trizub on the side of the helmet there. Very nice looking. Let's see, we now have the... What's the VVS? I can't remember what the VVS is. Give me a moment. Huh. These are the... No, that's the VVS. Here we go. Winter uniforms, that's what these guys are. Ukrainian winter uniforms. So, this is a special commander of some kind, I forgot his name. He's very cool looking. I just have different style of Ukrainian winter units. The same as the Russians. They weren't expecting the war to go into winter, and they didn't have a whole bunch of winter camouflage ready, so some units had all this white on, some didn't. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm definitely going to be doing some videos. Here's the map of Odessa. It's a massive military base with a port and railroad. Might figure out a battle of some kind. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this encourages you to download and play the mod. It's really an awesome mod, and I think you'd enjoy it a lot. So, you know, big props to the guys that work on this mod. You've really done the Ukrainian Russian war justice, and I know that some people might say it's a bit inappropriate to have a mod about the Ukrainian Russian war because it's ongoing, but I think it's good. I think it'll help engage people and want them to trigger their interest in learning about the conflict and why Russia invaded and all that. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this encourages you to play. Just once again, big props to the mod creators. I hope you guys continue to work and surprise us with more awesome content.